I mean, a, a a really strong differing theory that makes more sense would make me decrease um, in my certainty about this one. Um,
Do you have an example of an explanation or a theory? Even if like just use your imagination, like
of how, let's see, I guess I haven't contemplated it that much. Hmm.
you want to talk about evolution and the reasons for it,
Sure.
and
Or
why those reasons.
uh, an opportunity for me to observe could also be good if you want to
If you think
on
well,
this one.
sure, I'm willing to do that.
You open for having that conversation with him?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know that much about it, but I do believe that.
Yeah, we can talk about that if you want to. Okay. Cool. All right. Evolution is true.
Yeah.
Okay. 0 to 100. How confident are you that it's true?
I mean, like 75, maybe.
75%. Okay. How confident, same scale, are you that when I let go of this pen, it'll fall to the whiteboard?
I am 100%.
100?
Mhm.
Okay. For the pen. That helps me kind of calibrate what you mean by
Yeah.
100.
Right, right, right.
So 75 is pretty high,
Hmm.
would you say?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Uh, the main reason that supports your 75% confidence that it's true. In other words, the reason that if you found out was not a good reason would cause your confidence to drop the most.
Um, so my strongest reason is because it makes sense.
Makes sense?
Hmm.
Okay. Why is because it makes sense a strong enough reason to support 75% confidence?
Um, well, I just feel like observation and thinking through it, and if it makes sense, that's how I really determine the truth about most things,
Okay.
a lot of things.
Okay. Your observance.
Right.
Okay. Could someone arrive at a false conclusion and support it by this reason?
Yeah, because lots of lots of us don't have all of the variables, so something can make sense, but you're missing a piece. So yeah,
Have you ever found out that you were mistaken in something that you were supporting with this reason?
I'm sure I have.
Okay.
You want an example?
Not necessarily.
Okay, because I don't think I can come up with something's not coming to mind immediately,
Mhm.
but
Like, this makes
yeah,
perfect sense. Oh, even though this made perfect sense to me Um, I was mistaken about it.
Yeah,
That's happened.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so since that's the case, why aren't you higher than 75?
Higher than 75 in my certainty?
Mhm. That evolution is true. What? What would? Why aren't you at 80?
I mean, probably. I mean, I think it's because I am not the one. Like, I am outsourcing a lot of my trust to like scientists and people who research it a lot more and then bring their conclusions, their more simplified conclusions to me, and then I think that through. But it's not like I am the first person like gathering all the data, even reading all of the data and like making sense of it. So my stuff is more secondhand, so I feel like there's a decent uh chance that my conclusions are wrong, but
Okay. You're the need to rely on other people is keeping you from being higher than 75?
yeah, I think so. I feel like things that I am like the first source witness of in my drawing conclusions, I think feels more reliable to me.
Okay. What would cause your confidence to go to 65?
65.
What would have to
Um,
happen? What would you have to learn?
I mean, a a a really strong differing theory that makes more sense would make me decrease um, in my certainty about this one. Um,
Do you have an example of an explanation or a theory? Even if like just use your imagination, like
of how, let's see, I guess I haven't contemplated it that much. Hmm, I don't know. Like that, it just makes the most sense. I don't know how else we could have such a diverse like world. I can't think of anything else unless it all magically appeared here. I don't know.
magically appeared. That that
Yeah, I
that
mean,
would be
it
an
could be a
explanation.
hallucination. Maybe it's not real. I don't know.
Okay. Do you have a way to tell if you're wrong?
If I'm wrong about it all
Evolution.
magically appearing,
No, like
or
evolution is true is your claim. Do you have ways to tell if that was false?
um, yeah, I feel like there's always ways, and it's probably easier to prove that it's false than that it's correct. So like,
How
um,
could you tell if it were false?
I feel like this is such a complex subject that I don't even know. But scientists, I'm sure, are always looking for just anything that could throw an axe in a theory. So, but I don't know what those variables are.
Do you think it's important if we're 75% confident in something
Mhm.
to know how we could be false, how we could be mistaken?
Say that again, sorry.
If we're 75% confident in something,
Hmm.
do you think it's important to have ways to tell if we were mistaken?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a way to do that with this?
I mean, I think maybe my main way, if I were trying to test that, would be um,
What would you have to read?
reading scientific papers or even listening to podcasts from people who actually like spend their time researching and thinking about it.
So if tomorrow you read a scientific paper
Uh-huh,
that said evolution is not true and you heard a podcast
uh-huh.
saying that, that would cause your confidence to drop?
I mean, maybe it would drop it a little bit. It's not like it would go away. It's just like, oh, there's other options that are quite compelling. Like it'd have to be compelling. Like if it was an alternate opinion that didn't really make sense to me, then it wouldn't decrease my certainty really at all.
So the information would still have to make sense for you to adjust your confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Yet something could make sense to you and you could be mistaken.
Yes. And that's true, but I think that things that are true will always make sense. But the inverse, like, is true. That, like, you can be mistaken, but you're never going to believe in something and have it just not make any sense.
Are you saying that everything you believe is true makes sense to you?
It should, and if I think about it enough and it doesn't, then I'm going to get anxiety and feel like I shouldn't be believing that thing.
Really? Okay. Can you think of something that does not make sense to you but still is true?
It doesn't make sense to me, but still is true. I mean, there are so many things that, like, I just don't put my own attention to, and so I'm not, I don't fully grasp it. But, like, let's see, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm not great at math, so, like, there's lots of things, like calculus doesn't really make sense to me, but, like, because everybody else who does understand calculus, like, uses it, and we have a lot of the things we have because people do understand that. So then I believe that calculus is true, but I don't personally understand it. Like,
so that might be an example of something that doesn't make sense to you, but it's still true.
Yeah, because I just believe it makes sense to somebody else, like enough other people that I'm just like out of the loop, you know?
Okay. Are you still at 75?
At 75. I think so, yeah.
Okay. Cool. That was fun.
Okay. Was that along the lines of what you're looking for?
Kind of, yeah. Like, this is kind of a demonstration of how people can have a conversation about maybe a sensitive topic without arguing about it and investigating the quality of the reasons that support the confidence.
Right.
As opposed to me telling you evolution is not true if I were to believe that.
Right.
And trying to provide facts.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think I really love what you're doing. I think it's awesome.
Cool.
It's really coming down.
We can end it there. Do you have any questions for me? Or Brian?
It's really coming down.
Just because it's fun, I'm just curious what you guys like. So obviously epistemology is interesting to you and cool, and you've spent a lot of time thinking about it. So, like, do you feel like you the more that you think about it, you're like a more grounded or stable person, or do you feel like it kind of like detaches you from things that might like I personally feel like people who have been given a set of belief systems and they just take them and believe them, and it kind of simplifies their life. Some of those people actually don't like they do a lot of good in the world and just don't really think too hard. And I admire some people like that. Others I don't admire as much. But I think the more that I question why I believe the things that I believe, I get a little more anxious.
Okay.
So, like, do you feel like it's more grounding to you to be thinking about this all the time, or the opposite?
I think it's a way to increase the likelihood that my map of reality matches reality as much as possible.
Right.
And it's interesting that what you were talking about, like how it can cause anxiety.
Right.
That goes to, do you value truth over comfort? And I feel like I would rather know the truth,
Yeah.
the truth, whatever that is,
You're right.
than to be comfortable.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think?